it's your boys, the Podsack crew. We're here to talk about anime news.
Yes, welcome back, Podsackers. Thank you for checking in with us, Sack Squad. We appreciate your time with us. We have another jam-packed show for you. Today, we've got Last of Us Season 2, and it's steep fall off.
My favorite show.
It is Coop's favorite show.
Is it really?
Absolutely loves The Last of Us.
Love it.
And I don't understand why. So yeah, we're going to be talking about that today. Anime award winners and our thoughts about how this went down, especially with Crunchyroll awards. Some of us aren't happy about things. They're not. It's not okay. And then we have reviews for Fire Force and Windbreaker.
Windbreaker. Windbreaker.
Wait,
My goodness.
Windbreaker?
Where are we? Zelda?
Oh my god. Sorry. I
didn't know they did a remake, man.
Yeah,
like, I
my
would
bad.
be down.
That's a cool
Why
one.
did I say Wind Waker?
You got Zelda on the mind.
I think I do a little,
Yeah.
a little bit. Anyways,
We're going to start off strong with some...
Last of Us Season 2 fall off.
What about some answers for Andre?
Right.
Andre's not here. You forgot about that.
And yes,
Uh-huh.
we're gonna. You know what? Andre's not here, but we're still gonna do answers for Andre.
We're still going to do it. We got Victor sitting in, by the way. We didn't
What's
intro
up?
him. And Broly making a star appearance. My goodness. You never want to be on the camera until we're filming. And then you're just like, yo, let me be all up in. But it's all good. You're cute, so I love you. But we got Victor here in the house sitting in for Andre. And because Andre and Anil and Pat all couldn't
not
make
here.
it
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
No idea.
But yeah, let's do some answers for Andre. Should I
Right.
hit it?
You want to hit it?
I got it.
You know I can soundbite it.
I know.
Okay, go
But
for
I
it.
love it.
Okay, go for it.
Got a question, don't delay. It's answers for Andre.
Okay, no Andre, but here's the question: best new anime character from last year 2024 to this year 2025. On the docket, we have Frieren from Frieren Beyond Journey's End, Kafka Hibino from Kaiju number 8, Sakura from Windbreaker, not Wind Waker, but Windbreaker.
Right?
Okay, and then who is the fourth one again?
Solo.
Oh, right, Sung Jin Woo from Solo Leveling. I forgot my own question.
Yeah. It's all good.
I should have written it down like Andre does. This is why he does it.
But this is
I
why
know.
we're here. We're here to support you. We got this.
All right. Just off rip, it is not Sung Jin Woo. Like, I'm gonna put it right there.
Okay.
Ooh, right on the table. He's showing his
Cause
hand.
like, okay, here's the thing, right?
'Kay.
It's just like he's a cool character, and that anime is just about oral farming.
yeah, no, that's what it is.
Yeah. So like, for him to be the best character when he's basically just like
A K-pop idol with powers.
literally, and then like the story, like even like this character in the story, it's so basic, right?
Absolutely.
This
Like
story,
a K-pop idol with powers. Go ahead.
yeah, it's just not meant to be like anything like character breaking or like riveting in any way. So that's why it's just not him.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
100%.
We got, I'm gonna lay this on the table. Kafka. Kafka is a cool character. I like him. You know, he's a reliable character. I like him. I like him for that. But I don't know. He just doesn't have that. Like,
You're saying he's not the best character.
what? Yeah, I don't think he is
Okay.
because I think what he's missing is what Jinwoo actually has. It's almost like they would make the perfect character because like Kafka has that kind of more like loving side, and Sung Jin-woo is just him.
Jinwoo loves.
No, I know.
He
But
cried when his mom got woken up out of her coma.
yeah, but like,
That's when he showed he was a real.
Like person.
Yeah.
but my point is that Kafka is just not him. He just isn't him.
What do you mean?
He can't be him
Why?
because he's just too. He's too.
He goes into kaiju mode and he like wrecks.
Yeah, but I don't take him seriously.
He's calling him an unk.
I'm calling him an unk.
Yeah.
He's an unk.
But he's a cool unk.
He's a nice unk, but he is not the him unk. He's not the dude who hops on the motorcycle, goes off, and you're like, dude, I want to be him. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm looking at my uncles, and Kafka's got a beer in his hand, grilling up, and I love him for doing that. But I want to be Uncle
Jin-woo.
Jin-woo. I want to be the Aura Farm dude. I want to be ripped.
too much work.
I mean, like
I think I resonate with Kafka more. I'll do the last stand thing, when it matters.
Yeah.
But like otherwise, I just want to live my life.
Yeah.
I like it.
I would want to barbecue with a beer in my hand, but the minute you mess with my barbecue, your life is over. And then don't mess with my simplicity
like kaiju mode.
Yes.
All right. So I've taken Kafka off for me and Jinwoo.
Yeah.
So that only leaves Frieren on my table
And
Sakura.
Yeah.
And it's a tough one.
Why?
Really?
I think it's a tough
Do
one.
you want waifu or baby boy?
No, this is the problem. Like Frieren herself, I think, is a great character, but I feel like at this point in the anime, more of the character growth is happening to I can't remember her name now. Fern.
Right.
Most of the character development is actually happening with Fern, and Frieren is actually kind of there as a mentor character. I don't.
That's interesting. I think you and I both definitely have different perspectives on this.
And then for Sakura,
But
I
don't
feel
think
like
they're wrong perspectives.
yeah, and then
not.
Sakura, I feel like has the most character development because he's still a growing boy,
Right.
and he's going through all these very interesting emotions, and there's so much growth happening episode over episode that you just get to see it, and that's where I'm conflicted because I love Frieren as a character, but
Right.
I feel like for me it's Sakura.
Okay.
Okay.
It's my long-winded answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Who you feeling?
I'm Frieren.
Frieren?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like everything you said was right? But I think in terms of like let's
the first
say
time.
best
You were
character.
right. Somebody validated
Yeah.
you. How does
Crazy,
that
right?
feel?
Yes.
You never get validated on here.
Feelings are validated, dude. I don't have Patrick breathing down my neck.
No one's calling you an idiot.
No one.
Yeah, no one's called me an idiot yet. Oh, it'll happen. I'm fully aware.
I just think like if we're talking about like best character, right? And when I consider that, I like really like to consider like kind of, I mean, I guess not originality of story, but kind of like how they're placed within it. So for example, Sakura's story has kind of been told already,
Right.
right? This like
A loner kid,
Loner
has no
kid.
friends, he fights his way up. And
Legit,
now he's
yeah.
experiencing family for the first time.
Yeah.
Yep.
right, and it's just now being put in this like delinquent high school instead of another scene,
You're not
right?
wrong.
Right.
And like I would say Freeman's story has kind of been told in other facets, but not in the same way. So for example, basically what I think of Freeman's story is like basically someone trying to live amongst mortals, right? And trying to like
Right.
appreciate time
Absolutely.
and kind of like start to live life more. So like the only other comparisons I can think of from what I've read, for example, are either One Punch Man with Saitama not fitting in
Okay.
or Superman being the alien trying to fit in on Earth,
Interesting.
right? Because Freeman
Interesting.
is, along with the other two, this OP wizard,
Yeah.
right? Who will just decimate everything
And
if she
elves
wants to.
are pretty rare in that world.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? And just I feel like the story that it's put in is just a little more unique, right?
Yes.
So that's why
I can agree with
I
that.
think that the story of that just makes it better, even though
I agree.
it is becoming more of a Fern show.
That's what I mean.
That's what you're saying, though.
That's the only place where I'm looking at this show, and it's almost like I'm looking at Frieren is the main character for now.
Yeah.
And like it might even become beyond Fern's story, right? Like that's a possibility. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, right? But this show is to your point.
Yeah.
I love every point that you made because this is why I'm conflicted, is because I do really like Frieren as a character.
Yeah.
Her journey is so unique.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. So Freeren's your go-to?
Yeah, I think so. Because like I think the story is also interesting because Freeman's story is technically done. This is
Yeah.
just like the aftermath.
Yeah, exactly.
In a way, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah. What's your take?
I mean, I agree with you about Frieren, but for me, it's between Frieren and Kafka.
Oh,
Really? Wow.
Between-
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. My cat's in the background playing with his goddamn ball.
I know.
It's so frustratingly annoying. Like, I love him, but he does it at the most obscure times. I hate it. Anyways, the reason.
He's
Okay,
lively.
so I agree with everything that you said, pretty much with Frieren.
Yeah.
Everything. I think the little bit more uniqueness is she's And this is where I think you guys might be wrong about this. I think what you're getting at, you're not wrong about where you're at with saying this is becoming a Fern show. I think it's a misdirect, first off, to make you really fall in love with these characters, because Frieren will outlive them.
That is true.
And I feel like we're gonna get some sort of time skip where they are old now.
Oh,
and she's gonna see them pass, and she's really gonna understand that pain now.
Okay,
like we see her already kind of going through it as she's remembering things about what's the main guy's name?
The knight. I can't remember.
I can't remember his name either.
They say every episode. It's been X amount of years since he's died.
You continue on your point.
The loss of losing him. It's like she's remembering everything about him, right? Like as we kind of go on, like these small moments that she's remembering. Like she lost her a good friend who she didn't realize she was actually in love with until after he was gone. Himmel. Thank you.
Yeah.
He was him.
Himmel was him.
Yeah,
Himmel was him.
Yeah.
In fact.
That's what she's realizing. And as we kind of progress, she's now understanding what it's meaning to lose someone that she's loved after so long. That's where we're at with this. And I feel like it's only going to get more and more. This goddamn.
Yeah.
Can you take that
I'm
ball
just
away
looking
from
at the
him?
cat.
Please
I got him. Continue with your point.
Yeah, like frustrating. We're keeping this in
So
the pod.
cute though. It's
I love you, buddy, but you'll get it back after, okay? I love you so much. Daddy, you're daddy's boy, okay? God. Anyways, yeah, like now she's understanding, like she's actually alone. Like she was alone before, but she was fine with it. It wasn't until she met these people she understands, and losing two of them are now lost, that she's like, oh, like I don't think she wants to be alone anymore. She's not used to it anymore after what she's been through, you know? And she doesn't want to lose any more people without getting to know them.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Kafka is my boy. I understand everything he's going through. It is so relatable. For like every 30-year-old person
like,
and over,
Sheldon's like, that is me.
That is me.
Literally. And
So wait, it's about time you turn into a kaiju now.
Yes. And I think Andre would agree too. Like it just hits a little bit different because it's at that age where it's like, you know, you think you have all these dreams and ambitions and you're just like, okay, but then somewhere along the line in life, it just kind of slaps you hard.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I think this is where I'm settling. You know, and he decided he was going to settle to be a cleaner. And that was it for the rest of his life. He even thought about like,
but he didn't give up yet, though. He kept going.
No. Hold on. Let me get there. At that point in time, he wasn't even gonna they changed the rules so like people at his age can also still do the exams to get into the kaiju elimination squad.
Yeah.
But he didn't even consider it. He didn't even consider because he's like, no, I don't want to be filled with disappointment again. I've got it good here. Like
I thought he was gonna try one more time.
That wasn't until after he saved the dude and the.
Great.
And that guy convinced him you should take the test again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Like and now that he's in it and he's made it, there's other dreams he's realized that he could still fulfill and be at the person's side he wants to be at,
Right.
and serve them. That's why Kafka's my boy for this year.
Fair.
Yeah. Fair. Okay.
Like
we all have different opinions.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. Like he almost gave up, but he didn't. He kept pushing and was like, I'm gonna do this. This is what I got. You know, and he's like, I now have the ability to do this.
Yeah.
He's got the heart. He just never had the physicality to do so. But now he's got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now he's got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's why Kafka's my boy, and that's why I decided this is where we're going with this.
Okay.
Fair,
You know
fair.
what?
That was
I
a
can
good answers
respect
for
that.
Andre.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
That was fun. But let's get on.
Now
to
that we
some-
covered answers with Andre, let's get into The Last of Us. And it having the biggest fall off, people were surprised.
You think?
I think some.
Hear me out.
I think
I'm
people
angry.
that love the show was surprised. People that were not fans of this, not surprised about it.
Yeah.
I think they knew what season 2 was going to be like, and they were like, it's going to fall off, and they weren't wrong.
All right.
It absolutely happened.
I specifically think that if you've played the game before, for whatever reason, people who have played the game before, and I haven't played the game, so I don't know. But every person that I've talked to that has played season 2 or like the game and watched season 2, hates season 2.
Yeah.
Hates season 2.
And I think a significant part of that was because of Ellie. Ellie is like the worst character in this entire show. There's nothing about her that I feel like is a redeemable quality at all.
Right.
Like she got from season 1 to season 2, I don't know what the hell happened, but they dumbed down her character so hard.
The writing for her character is horrible.
Yeah.
It's just
well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like somewhere, I don't know where they decided this in their writing, but they were like, let's make her a little bit more dumb, a lot more emotionally brash and headstrong, and I'm the big person now.
Because it's like, first of all, you're saying season 1 to season 2 is a big jump.
Oh,
and then also like in the game to the show is also a big jump too, right?
100%. Yeah. Because
it's almost like, and I said this before, it's like we're watching a separate timeline for the show because like not everything is aligned.
They're completely different.
They're different. They're different. Like, yeah, these are different tellings of the same story.
Right.
So they follow
Sort of.
different. They follow one path, but different things happen along it.
Okay.
Is what I'll say.
A lot of different things.
A lot of different things.
They even
For
changed
sure.
how people got infected.
Oh, that's like so different then.
So
Yeah.
like in the games, they were consistent with spores are how people got infected
Right.
from this fungal infection.
Mhm.
And that's how they became like the MADs, the clickers, the bloaters, all this stuff. And this one, and they also retcon stuff. They retcon stuff too. In season 1, they said cordyceps were how they were infected. And in interviews, they were like, yeah, we decided not to go with spores because we felt like it didn't really add an element of any sort of fear. They could just easily avoid it. So we were like, we're going to change it to cordyceps, right? That's what they did. This is what they said. Season 2, they reintroduced the spores like halfway through the season. And we're like, spores are a thing again, not just cordyceps. And it was like, so you all realized y'all messed up in your writing and it didn't make sense. And now you're trying to make it make sense.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the fact that they've just gone off on a tangent with like just completely different writing has made the main character is supposed to be Ellie. And the fact
For season 2.
For season 2.
Last of Us 2, season 2.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. We were supposed to have a telling story of like almost like it's her coming to her senses and becoming an adult. Realistically, like her transitioning to becoming an adult, and in this show,
Being a little bit more mature.
being more mature for sure, 100%. And in this show, they wrote her just like the same way they did in season 1. Really, like it's a continuation. And the fact that they didn't recast Bella Ramsey for the season 2 because she's supposed to be older,
like older and grown.
Older
now,
and
right?
grown.
She looks the same.
Identical.
They could have even done like makeup or
Yeah.
CGI to make her look older.
That's the problem.
For some reason, she looks even younger than before.
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
For whatever reason, it's almost like
there is no stress in her life
No.
in this world that made her be like, we need to be a little bit
Which
more
is like
serious.
full of stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and she's it's kind of it's odd. It just feels so off to where the original to where the game is because I know the basic beats. I've watched the gameplay for Last of Us season 2. I just haven't fully played the thing. But looking at the gameplay to the show, it's shocking. In the last episode, the finale, one of the craziest things happens, and it's
You know what? Spoiler alert. Go for it.
Spoiler alert. Jesse dies. Why does he die? Could you imagine? Could you take a guess, a wild guess? Is it because
Ellie's a dumbass?
Is it because they were randomly, like someone just came out of the blue and shot him in the face? Well, yeah, that did happen. But it's also
Why did you say it so casually?
Because it's also the fact that Ellie's
It's
choices.
It's like, yeah, we're just gonna go bomb that building, guys. That's what happened.
Hold on.
Literally?
And the only reason that all happened is because of Ellie's poor decision making up until that point. She consistently makes the wrong decision in the show to make every viewer mad. Jesse is the only character with logic and reasoning throughout the whole thing, and she goes and gets him killed, like full blown. Like, yeah, you can say it was like it obviously it's supposed to happen, and it was kind of a semi-random occurrence that he just gets shot out of the blue. But at the same time, if Ellie had just listened to Jesse the entire time, they would have been out free. And you see it. It's such a glaring thing in your face. You're like, this show makes the main character dumb for no reason.
Absolutely. Yeah. It doesn't make sense, man.
For no reason.
Like, have you watched any of The Last of Us?
So I have not played it. I have not watched it. I've like looked at a couple of articles kind of leading up to this conversation to learn more about it. So I have an idea.
Yeah. So just I'm just gonna give you a quick overlay of Game Ellie. Okay. From game 1 to game 2, like game 1, she's this inquisitive kid, curious. She's like, she's intelligent. Like, and she's overly cautious, and she's learning from Joel. She's learning like the things from Joel to be a better survivor out here. Okay, that's game 1 Ellie.
Right.
Season 1 Ellie, pretty much the same thing. I was like, okay. I still didn't agree that Bella Ramsey was like the best choice for this.
Okay.
But regardless, she played game 1 Ellie in season 1 exactly like game 1 Ellie.
So the acting was good.
The acting portrayal for season 1
was great.
Pretty decent.
Amazing. In season 1, she was inquisitive. She wanted to learn from Joel. She was smart. It's like the puzzle that Bill left behind, the radio code, she figured this out. Like she shows signs of intelligence.
Yeah.
100%. Like she likes these things. She's curious about it. Okay. And we get to the end, and she's even then like, she's like, what's going on? Right? Game 2 Ellie, grown up. She's emotionally more mature.
Yeah.
She's like smart with her emotions. She's upset with some people for sure. The drive of, because like Joel ends up dying.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, like it's out now. Figure it out. And the game's been out for like years.
That episode came out like a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
Y'all should have watched it.
Yes. In the game, when Joel dies, there two big things. One, Tommy was there for Joel's death in the game.
Yeah.
He was there in the show. He was not.
Okay.
It was Dina.
Okay. The driving force, like we're talking a week, a few days after has gone by, like a week has gone by. Ellie's ready to rip.
Right.
To go after the people that killed Joel. She's like, we got to go get them. It doesn't matter how. And she's talking to Tommy about this. Tommy's like, look, I understand, but we got to chill and think about this and plan things out.
Right.
And he's only doing this because his wife has talked to him about calm the hell down. Like, please don't go after them. His wife is also, they got a kid.
Yeah.
Right? They got a kid. In this show, there was no sense of urgency about going after them. Ellie's not even really that angry about Joel dying.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
No, she definitely
Like,
is.
she's angry, yes.
But the difference is in the show, there is, so compared to the game and in the show, there is a difference in time skip. So in the game, it's a few days, I believe, after that they go after. In the show, it's 3 months.
Because she has some broken ribs.
Because,
Cry about it. Man up and go after him. Man up and go after him.
This dude's crazy.
Off rip.
This dude's off.
Yo, broken ribs and just be like,
No, don't be a... You know what? Don't be a bitch.
Oh
Go wrap up and go after him.
rub some dirt and spit into it and
Sheldon's full blown. Pull up your bootstraps and get back to military. Soldier, get back there and kill him. Why are you not out there?
Hey, that's what Game Ellie did. She went hard.
Yeah.
Guys sitting there, broken leg. Sheldon's like, crawl. You have 2 arms and 1 good leg.
Anyways, so Game Ellie's just driven, and she takes, like, she maps out, like, what they're gonna do.
Right.
You know, until shit hits the fan, then it's like, okay, scramble, but you still have a plan. And, like, the way she approaches, like, enemies, clickers, it's methodical.
Mm-hmm.
There's intelligence to it. Like, the fight where she fought that lady, and, like, the bullet grazed her and she ended up bleeding out.
Yeah.
Okay. In the show, she kills this woman with the bullet grazing her carotid
artery,
and she bleeds out. In the game, they get into a full-on fight, and she shoves a knife in her throat and out.
Oh,
but you're saying now the game one is a lot more ruthless than the show.
Yeah. And the show, they put emphasis, like the girl. It's real weird. I just found that whole, like, I was closing my eyes because of just how weird that scene was, where, okay, now this lady who has shown remorse for Ellie in both occurrences, so she seems like the more reasonable person. She's also, by the way, pregnant. Out of the freaking blue, this woman is bleeding out, and she's like, hey, I got 30 seconds. I need you to get that knife now.
Yeah.
And Ellie's like, what? And she's like, I'm pregnant. I need you to give me C-section, take this baby out. And you're like, what is happening? Like, where are we? Like, what is going on? And it just feels like the whole situation is way too much. Like, it didn't need to have all that. It could have just been that she grazed her and she died. We didn't need the whole cut, like almost cutting open and giving a C-section. I need to close my eyes. I hate bio.
So in the game, once she's on salmon and she gets it, she sees same thing, pregnant. But by that point, she's already dead. She can't. She's like, oh shit! Like she screwed up a bit.
Yeah, they wanted to increase the emotional tension, but at the same time, it just was weird. It didn't need to be there. It was unnecessary. And there's so many things in the show that are unnecessary, and actually no.
Do you have a list?
All of them are Ellie related. All of them. Every single one of them. It's Ellie's mistake that has gotten them to this point. And you're like, how many times are you just going to fumble? Like, are we just ever going to see you like shoot a 3? Like, come on. Like, you can't drop the ball every single time. Will.
Even in season 3, I don't think it's going to happen. Like, this whole show, I feel like this is the Dina show. Dina is what Ellie is in the freaking game. In this season, like her partner is Ellie in this. Like they should have casted Dina as Ellie. Yeah. Honestly, Dina is she's smart.
She's capable. She's the thing is she's written well. All the other characters, even like, Jesse.
The writing for Dina should have went to Ellie. Yeah,
like
basically,
when people were like, "Oh yeah, Bella Ramsey's got enough like star power," but other people were like, "I don't think she can carry the show." And with Pedro Pascal gone, this has shown Bella Ramsey cannot carry.
I wanted to talk about that. Actually,
the thing is, I don't think it's her that can't carry the show because I genuinely think she's a good actress.
Sorry, yeah, okay. Let me go. I'll take it back. You're not wrong. She is a good actress, but with the way they writ her and how they got her to act it out,
full blown,
not carrying. Dina carried most of this.
Oh yeah. No, all the other characters carried. Every other character on screen I've liked.
Yeah, touch bases on that Pedro Pascal part because a lot of the things I was reading was like people stopped watching the show logistically, just like with the numbers. We didn't even talk about that yet.
Yeah, we'll get there.
People stopped watching the show after he died because they were like, "Oh, he's not there anymore."
It's so funny. I watched them. It mirrors the game.
Literally.
It mirrors the game release.
A lot of people, okay, so when the game came out, they played it through. Even I did at a point. Okay? When we got to that point where they killed off Joel, stopped.
Yeah.
People were
stopped. I poured out 2 for Joel. 1 for him, 1 for me, and I drank his too because I was so upset.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did they kill Dad?
Yeah,
how did they kill Dad?
Do you think his death was good in the game?
I thought they did him dirty.
Yeah.
He didn't even get to fight back.
That's what I heard too.
They just took him out.
Yeah.
Like they blasted off his kneecaps and then they just continued to pummel him. There was no fight, and that's what pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah.
Is he didn't go down swinging. They took him out like a dog. Like Old Yeller.
For sure. Well, I mean, that's just the brutal world that they're living in. I mean, you look at the reason he got taken out brutally.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Him and Tommy did some really
It is completely justified, and it just makes complete sense narratively.
Yeah.
There's no questions about why he died or anything,
but
it was just
painfally slow.
I shot her.
Yeah, quickly. He got a quick death. Okay, he gave him that satisfaction.
No, wait, hold on. You can't justify shooting a doctor dead in the head, brother. That's just crazy work.
I mean, to be fair, he yeah, you're not wrong. Like
the dude had his hands up, like he said, please, and he shot him in the forehead.
That's fair. Yeah, he didn't have to, but he did.
Exactly, dude. It was brutal.
It was kind of messed up. You're not wrong.
So I kind of get it. But yeah, no, the show. Where did it fall off?
So it was literally near like the final 2 episodes. So
yeah,
like the fall off, like the amount of viewership. So season 1's finale, like right up until the end, it was like 8.5 million viewership.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Season 2 ended with 3.7 million viewers.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
that's a solid like 4.8 million people.
And I don't see the thing is next season will be even worse, and you want to know why? Because it's Abby's season.
Yeah,
the person who killed Joel.
But Yeah, which is crazy because like most of this, some of the season had Abby mixes in it, which is crazy.
No, it did, but it wasn't even to the extent because next season is the follow through on Abby's side of the story. Now you got to think.
Well, there is parts in the game, like a part in the game where you do play it as just Abby.
Yeah, exactly, and so that's what I mean.
I think that's what they're following.
No, for sure. That's how it is in the game, and it makes sense. But this is a full blown like shot in the foot for the show.
Yeah,
because now it's only downward. We knew the downward was coming when Abby's season was going to come. It was going to be bad. But you've now led that up with a bad season.
Also started returning their games or selling them off and stopped playing.
Oh, was it when it got to the Abby perspective?
Well, they didn't like even from the rip. They didn't like Abby. From the rip, they didn't. So when they found out that we got to play as Abby, they were like, "Why?" Yeah. They were like, "What kind of? What's the like? This was supposed to be an Ellie story."
Yeah,
it's brutal.
Yeah, but they decided we're gonna split because there's two perspectives here. There's Ellie's perspective, and then there's Abby's perspective as to why she went after Joel and why she feels like Ellie feels like she needs to avenge Joel.
Which, like, for someone who hasn't like done anything, I think that's kind of cool. But it makes sense if you hate the character and then you gotta play as the character, then you don't want to.
Yeah. Can we touch on Tommy? Like, you saw the rest of how Tommy went through the show, right?
Oh, I watched everything.
Yeah. So, was there any indication that Tommy left bodies behind, or he was on a warpath?
They didn't really show it, but it definitely made you think that he was killing a lot of people because over the rate, like you hear gunshots going off like mad in the background and you realize, oh, if Tommy's in a gunfight with these guys, he's gotta be going pretty hard. I would have liked to see that. And we might in Abby's section, there might be a
that'll be interesting if that's what they're saving it for.
Yeah. And that we might see more of that there, but it's definitely not as much of a vengeful path for Tommy as it is a saving grace for.
Sorry, keep going.
The whole season, Tommy really just wants to get back, which I personally don't mind because it makes sense to me.
But so this is where the games differ with this stuff. Yeah. Like we have Tommy in the game
when he witnesses Joel
dying, dude. As much as he was trying to keep his cool, he couldn't. Yeah. He eventually did take off, and he went on a warpath. Like when you play as Ellie with Dina, you see bodies get left behind. Because and they're following Tommy at this point because they're like, oh shit, like
Tommy's off.
Dude went.
He's off to the races.
Yes. Tommy is him.
Yeah, he's going full blown Joel on them and just running through the place and killing everybody, right? But I don't know if that added for me narratively. I don't think that. I think
does it not though? Like
because
I feel your brother get brutally murdered. You're like, and you're gonna be no. And you know what? I'm gonna stay at home with my kid.
Hold on, and that's where I don't mind the narrative shift.
Adult may do, but at the same time, it's like in this era, it's especially the shit you've been through with your brother. You're gonna be like, I'm gonna go kill.
Hold on, wait. But that's the difference between the game and this is where I don't mind a small narrative shift where Tommy actually looks like a more adult figure in this situation. He seems like a much more reasonable person, and the brashness is actually thrust upon, like you said, Ellie, who's making dumb decisions, and she's going in full, just like a blind deer in headlights. You know what I mean?
That's where the story significantly, like, we know it's significant because the whole point of The Last of Us Season 2 was a revenge story that ended up finding out about themselves, like about what they really needed to do and what they need to do to move forward. And this one is just la-di-da, like, oh, maybe we should go after him, but we really shouldn't go after him. But you know what? We should go after him.
Well, Ellie's pretty consistent on going after him. Yeah. She's wanting to go after him the entire time. Like, she never stops wanting to go after him. She's stuck there, obviously.
But she has moments where, like, you completely forget, as a viewer, you completely forget that they're on a revenge path.
100%.
There's a lot of moments like that.
No, you definitely do. And
when they find out Dina's pregnant, in the show, Ellie's like, oh, that's amazing. I'm going to be a dad. And they're in a situation where, like, they're in the middle of the freaking city trying to formulate a plan to get out or to move forward with it. In the game, Ellie's like, you're pregnant? She's like, what are you doing here? Well, like, why did you even come? You've become a burden now because now I not only have to look out for you, I have to look out for the kid that's in you and make sure you get back safe.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is like, it makes sense.
Like, if things were consistent, it would be fine.
If Ellie's story if she wasn't written just
well, it's not even that.
obnoxiously.
It's the tone, right? Like the tone of it is like they're here for a reason, and it's like we're here to kill these people and get our revenge and like move and like come back. And this is a very tense situation. Whereas like in the show, we're in the middle of enemy territory, but hey, let's play house.
Yeah.
Let's play house. Literally.
I
don't know, man.
I think it's.
I don't know. Like, okay, you're pregnant. This is awesome, but at the same time, like, you should not be here.
I mean, yeah, like not even just even if you single in on any point, you can make it so that like because Ellie's like you look at the last episode, and I want you to watch the finale because you just have to see it. You have to witness just the idiocy for itself because that's where I feel like as a viewer,
I don't need to. I told you from the get-go.
No.
The whole series just doesn't. I think it's dumb.
You need to for this. Just it's the nail in the coffin. It's really just. Like
Brother, from the get-go, I told you season 1 was trash.
No, I know you didn't like season 1, and I really liked it. And you were
but
were
now
on the
watching
opposition.
season 2, season 1 is way better than season 2.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I've been
like,
saying. That's what I've said. What I'm saying, season 2 is like it's I
made
give
me
it
like
personally,
season 1 more.
Yeah, it 100%
For me,
does.
hating it, I'm like, okay, you know what? Season 1 wasn't bad because season 2 is just dog shit.
That's what I mean. But go and watch. I want you to watch the finale because it is brutal. If you guys haven't watched it out there, please go and watch it. We've rambled enough on this. Let's get into some Crunchyroll awards before we freaking lose ourselves.
Look, I think it's just complex for a lot of people, and like this, I don't know what this is going to indicate because they literally signed up for 4 seasons. I don't know what more they can really tell. Like we're gonna get Abby's side of the story, her POV. I'm like, okay, so they're milking this. We're gonna get reenactments of the same situations just from Abby's POV.
Yes,
and then what the hell is season 4 gonna be? God, I don't know.
I actually don't know because I haven't played the game.
Yeah. So
like I think viewership will continue to drop.
Yeah.
How much do you think it will drop by season 3 and then maybe into season 4? Like just to kind of end it off because we kind of talked about, story is not good. And
I paid for Crave just to watch this.
Yeah.
I unsubscribed. I will not be resubscribing.
Okay, so
I'm out.
Minus one at least.
We'll find
this
other ways.
Dropped for me.
We'll find other ways to watch. We have other friends that.
Probably
Oh
have,
no! I'll
can go
watch
from
like highlights and I'm gonna figure out what happened and I'll read synopsises. But like and maybe I'll watch it, but there has to be nothing going on, and that's tough in this day and age with such good content.
Yeah.
Like
because leading up to it, you were like. At first you were excited, but then your excitement for it was like, hey, is anybody gonna really watch season 2?
Because instead of watching season 3 of Last of Us, I'd rather be watching Solo Leveling because it swept at the Crunchyroll Awards. Let's get into it.
It did.
it really did.
But Crunchyroll Awards, Anime Awards happened this past week. It was kind of a big sweep for Solo, and people were like, honestly, a lot of anime YouTubers, a lot of anime podcasts were like, why? Like they were like, okay, we can see how it makes sense.
I told you.
At the same time, it's like, why?
We said this last week before, and the Crunchyroll Awards were coming out right after we were filming that. And I said, it's going to be a determination on whether or not the anime community has complete recency bias.
The Crunchyroll Awards, Anime Awards, is a joke.
It is.
They are the equivalent of
the Oscars.
Nickelodeon / MTV Music Awards.
No, this is Oscars.
No,
yeah,
no, it's not because Nickelodeon, MTV, people actually vote, and the Oscars they have a panel.
Yeah, they do have they have the.
What I learned about the Crunchyroll Awards, there are judges. Okay, there are judges. They say it's supposed to make up 70% of the vote, and then the 30% is the fans voting.
So the panel has more like power to their votes.
That's what they're.
But there's way more fans.
That's what they're saying. Right? Yes.
Okay.
However, it's now coming into question because like what we know for sure is that the panels pick the nominees, and then they're supposed to have the bigger say in the judgment. People are starting to question that now.
Yeah.
I mean, the nominees all made sense.
If that were the case, if they were looking at anime of the year, it should be all encompassing. Like you should be looking at like not just like animation style and like fight choreography, but like story, character points. Is there growth? Do we move forward? Solo Leveling has some of it, but it doesn't have all of it.
Solo Leveling season 1 is a good season of anime. It is not a bad season of anime. It is a good season of anime. But it is not a great season of anime.
It took us 5 episodes to get into Solo Leveling.
That's what I mean. If you go back and watch the tape. we have podcasts where we were going through it and we were calling it trash because Ninja Kamui was airing exactly the same time.
Yep.
And Ninja Kamui was blowing it out of the water.
The first 3 episodes were like
it was
bomb.
a complete opposite of
Yes.
what Solo did. Now, Solo picked up really heavy in the last little bit. The Igris the Blood Red fight, one of the coolest fights that I've seen in anime.
Absolutely.
Right? Very, very cool fight. But the rest, I'm looking at it as a season of anime. One full season. Every episode has to clock.
Yeah.
It's when I'm looking at album of the year, I'm not thinking this is the best song. This is the best single. This is the best piece of work.
Yes.
It's a piece of work. The whole thing from the front to the back. Solo Leveling has, in the season 1, really does nothing.
Solo Leveling, see, like,
it's a prologue to the story.
so not just, I'm just gonna, like, look, I love Solo. It's hype as shit.
Oh,
right?
dope.
Like,
I love
we
Solo.
know in terms what we want from Solo Leveling is literally just the fights.
Yeah.
Because we know it's gonna be
It's
the
one
best
of, I've said this. It's one of the best action animes.
Solo Leveling is this generation's Dragon Ball Z.
100%.
It's this.
Yes.
You want to talk about aura farming, power scaling? Solo
No, it is.
Leveling has this, and it's literally what Dragon Ball Z was in my era.
Yeah. Except they trim the fat on it a lot. Though.
Yeah, they
no,
do.
absolutely.
There's no. It is.
Well,
it
Dragon
is-
Ball Z Kai also trims significant amount of fat, so we just get to the fights and the power ups and shit. And like that's literally what Solo Leveling is.
I see where you're coming from. I see the comparison because go on this.
No, I just feel like I think like you're right. It's just like I think the Dragon Ball fights meant more because again, Goku's story is different.
Yeah. For
Right.
sure. Goku was saving planets,
No,
dog.
but I
he
think-
was saving galaxies.
But it's
and
about this guy
worlds.
that's just training hard to
save
beat
his mom.
the next obstacle. Where Solo Leveling, he gets his powers so fast, and he does save his mom. I mean, that's the thing. But
Well,
like,
not so fast because he does train. We
He
just don't
does
see
train.
Fast.
There-
It's 24 episodes, and he's fully
Right,
he's
but,
beyond
like,
what we could
know
have
that
ever
there's, like,
imagined.
time skips in between, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Because
yeah.
like he grows, his hair changes, it
Yeah.
gains like muscle mass, things like that. Like
It's
there's-
not that many. I think they even reference it's only like a month in the show, right? Like,
yeah, it's not that long.
it's not that
No,
long.
it
isn't
Like
that
it's
long.
pretty
Yeah,
quick.
It's quick.
got you.
But at the same time, no. For Solo to beat out, I mean, let's just talk about it. Dan to Dan Delicious in Dungeons, Free Run Beyond, Kaiju number 8, and Apothecary Diaries. We already went over this like months ago when it was announced.
we've watched most of this. Like
Most
we
of
watched
it.
Dan to Dan.
Yep.
You and me have watched Free Run.
Yep.
Actually, have you? Watched
I've read
it?
all Free Run.
Okay. Kaiju number 8.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. The only things that we haven't watched is like
Is
the
Delish-
Apothecary Diaries.
I've heard it's pretty good, though.
Diaries, but you heard Delicious. You watched Delicious.
I watched Delicious.
I read it, yeah.
Delicious is dope in my opinion.
That's great.
I just started watching Apothecary, and
Yeah.
the first 2 episodes. I'm like, okay, I can see why this was a contender already.
Yeah.
Right off rip. Like, I
See, the thing is, Dan to Dan.
I don't want to be angry and go off on a tangent, but I feel like I need to calm
If you
down.
remove,
The coffee's getting to me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Let me take the lead for a little bit. I don't think Dan to Dan and Kaiju even held a torch. I really think that those shows are great, but they weren't in comparison to Solo. I think Solo just had better action overall. It had better animation. It was great.
No, hold on. Let's go back to what you said.
Yeah.
And I really want you to, because you said it's not a song, it's the album.
It's the album.
So let's take Kaiju number 8, Dan
Kaiju
to
number
Dan's
8, yeah.
full-on episodes versus Solo Leveling.
Oh, yeah.
It took us the first 5 episodes to get into Solo.
No, for sure.
We can agree with this.
It took
Yeah.
me about.
Kaiju number 8,
It was about 4 or 5 before I was synced.
I don't know. For me, like the only thing I didn't like about it was the animation style, but everything else resonated with me. From like the
It
get-go.
resonated. I'm not saying it didn't, but
And then-
if I had to rank Kaiju number 8 as like I think when I rated it as an entirety, I said it was an 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
I still think it's an 8 out of 10. I
Okay.
think Solo Leveling season 1 is an 8 out of 10.
I agree.
Okay, yeah.
I
can follow
I
that.
think Dan to Dan is an 8 out of 10.
I think Solo Leveling is like kind of like a 7.5 to an 8. Absolutely, yeah.
I think it's an 8 because I love the Igris the Blood. If you like, I'm rewatching it right now, with Jane, and I've gotten to the Igris the Blood Red, and it makes the entire it overshadows
Don't worry.
everything.
Apparently, we might be getting like an Igris storyline all on its own. Like
be
it's a
amazing.
separate story.
But Freeman is a 10.
It's like his past.
I'm excited, but to be fair, Freeman is a 10.
Yeah,
Freeran is
Freeran's
100% a 10.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. It
Like
really does.
quality is insane.
Okay, I want to just so in terms of animation, I'd say they're both top notch.
Yeah.
Free
For
Run
sure.
and Solo,
Yeah, for sure.
Okay?
Different animations.
Forget all the other ones. I'm like, we know Free Run should have won. Like,
So yeah.
in our opinion,
Out
It's
of this
not even
group,
our opinion. The
I think
anime
so.
community
Yeah,
has
I think
already
so.
the anime community has spoken.
Yes.
Freerun is 100% the best anime this season. For whatever reason, Crunchyroll Awards were like, let's just throw it to Solo because of the hype.
Yep.
I
But-
think so. Like, really, I think it's just the hype.
But Freerun had 27 episodes? Maybe 28 episodes.
In
How
the
many
20s.
episodes? 28.
Let's say in the 20s, right?
It's high 20s.
Which is a lot
For
for a season.
one season.
It's a lot for a season. Yeah.
The character growth, the animation, the music,
Yeah.
The
fights.
layers of peel back that
yeah.
you learn about them.
You can't even compare it to Solo because Solo is 12 episodes.
Yeah.
You'd have to compare it to both seasons of Solo, but you can't because the second season of Solo is this year.
This year, yeah. I think, like, as you were saying, for the work, the whole work, right? Animation, character growth, story, like all that
Yeah.
stuff. Solo doesn't have that. Freerun does. In
Yeah.
our opinions, which
Exactly.
is, I think, everyone's opinion.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
100%. And I feel like we're going on we're going to go on about this forever, but let's get into some what are some other categories that were kind of swept. We had best
Free Run should have won.
Free
It's a
Run, yeah.
better story,
It is.
better characters.
Yeah.
They all have better growth. I just want to say this is the final thing for anime
ahead.
of the year. Like, Jinwoo is straight simple. The only thing he had was he was weak, he got stronger, and he decided, I want to save my mom if there's a way, and he did it.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
But that was all in season 2.
No, yeah.
He
Yeah.
saved his mom in season 2. Season 1, it was just, what is this?
Season 2
It was literally the start of an isekai.
Yeah, it was.
Which is boring.
It was a prologue.
This is the power creep.
He didn't even
Anime.
he got his powers at the end of season 1.
Yeah.
Right?
Literally, yeah.
The beginning of his story, before everything kicks off, this is the first part. This is the first season is literally Peter Parker getting bit by the spider.
Yeah.
Right? They're showing you how he gets to this to the point where he's at now.
Yeah.
The second season is really where the actual story kicks off.
It's where it really begins.
This is where
Yes,
it really
absolutely.
begins. You're telling me the beginning of a story is just as good as Freerun's entirety, which is just one of the most bananas stories you've ever
Which is now why I'm only going to take the Tokyo Anime Awards seriously.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's only a panel of judges.
I want to do this
Okay,
one.
so
what is this one?
This one.
So the
pissed
next
me
one
off.
we have is Best Ongoing Series.
This
now,
one, oh, dude.
Now, the nominees for this, we had Bleach 1,000 Year Blood War Arc, Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia Season 7, One Piece, Oshinoko Season 2, and Spy Family. The winner of this ended up being Demon Slayer. Over One Piece and goddamn... Now, me and Neil talked about this already,
Okay.
and we were like, okay, My Hero, sure, out the window. Oshinoko, kind of weird, out the window. Spy Family, I think people are falling off it because they're starting to realize Anya's kind of an obnoxious character and she's annoying.
Well, no, I wouldn't even
Out
say
the
that.
window.
I think she's
now,
yeah.
One Piece, big ass fan following,
Yeah.
longest running anime. How the fuck did that
Okay,
not win?
can I talk about
don't
this?
understand.
Hit it.
And
I
then you
really
got.
wanna talk about this.
I'll let you speak 1 second, and then you get Bleach. Now, I told my reasons on Bleach, but go ahead.
You go.
Okay, so I am the One Piece glazer.
I know.
Yeah, so
know.
I really want to talk
See,
about this.
we're the Bleach glazers.
Yeah, you're the. I love Bleach, by the way.
And don't
Fucking
get me
love
wrong.
Bleach.
Don't get me
I'm
wrong.
on episode
I'm
116 in Bleach.
Yeah.
I'm mad
I mean, in
that
One
One
Piece.
Piece didn't take it because One Piece really should have taken it
One Piece should be taking it every single year.
every single year.
Every single year.
The
fans
I'm not
failed
a
One Piece
fan.
this year.
I'm a Bleach glazer. I think Bleach should have won everything. Okay, Bleach sweep. All right, Bleach every single everything. Best character, best music, best anime.
Look,
Doesn't
I
matter.
ain't wrong with you, but you're a new age Bleach fan, which is rare.
But yes,
Yeah, that
but
is
hold on.
super rare.
But
Yeah.
hold on. Hear me out. But I know as an anime fan that One Piece should have won.
One Piece should have won.
It's so dumb. How do you even do how it's so blatantly obvious that One Piece should have won.
I think the 6-month hiatus just hurt them. They needed the 6 months though.
Who, One Piece?
Yeah, because they had a hiatus to like let the manga kind of keep going.
All of these are one season.
For sure. But Demon Slayer, like,
Was 12 episodes of nonsense.
Yeah,
It wasn't. 8 episodes, mind you. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, it was 8.
It wasn't even a full 12. It was 8 with one good episode every other episode.
realistically, you can skip 6 episodes, and the last 2 episodes are the only thing that matters in Demon Slayer.
No.
You don't need to watch those. Like you
You
watch
need
the
the
last
first
2 episodes
episode and the last
to understand what happened the entire season.
First and last episode, that's all you need. Because first episode will establish where they're going, and then last episode, you understand what happened by that point.
This is like, it's a slice of life anime. This is what the season was.
No, it really was, and it didn't make any sense. We talked about this. We said this is not a season of Demon Slayer that you should take seriously, and for whatever reason, Crunchy was like,
We
no.
did say that when we watched it.
Hold on.
That's
This
not
is
what
the
I said.
greatest ongoing anime of
The
all
fans are like, this is the
time.
best ongoing series ever.
Ow.
I'm sorry. The Sword Village arc was the weakest arc.
It was.
Next to this
was.
training arc.
The Hashira arc was
Hashira
the worst
training
arc.
It literally.
It was the worst arc.
Just gonna work out, dog. Work out. Get faster. Work
That's
out.
that's like if they
That's like if I wanted to go watch somebody train for like
the like best.
I'd go watch Coop. Train for 2 hours a day.
Yes.
Yes.
Best ongoing show, Last of Us season 2. That's what they did. That's what they did.
So both of you, both of you guys are saying One Piece should have won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does
Okay.
make sense.
I think everybody's in agreement that One Piece should have
I
won.
Everyone's
think
in
out of
agreement.
this set, I agree. I understand if it didn't, because like again, that 6-month hiatus really hurt them, and we talked about recency bias,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Recency
And
bias.
that's the other thing.
which is like I feel like it sucks because you have one whole year and you're gonna forget the things that happened in the beginning of the year.
for sure.
Yeah, which
but
sucks.
What this is why I've really enjoyed this pod, because now that we analyze and break down episodes, I can really talk about like because we watch these so in depth now and we know all the story beats. We're not going off of just our feelings on the matter. We've studied this. We've studied these seasons. We've watched them over a period of time, and yeah, Demon Slayer. Go and watch the pods from then.
We have fandoms, but we can understand when people talk about fandoms and why they don't like them. Like I get it. Like when people shit on Dragon Ball and Goku, like I get it, dude.
Yeah.
I absolutely
Understandable.
get
why.
why.
When people shit on Bleach, I understand. Ichigo just has one hit move that slashes everything in front of him. I understand, but guess what? It's the coolest thing in the world, and that's why it should have won.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I love Bleach, like it's probably my top 5.
Yeah,
I want to say.
right? It's up there.
And then like even with the anime coming out, like I don't see a lot of it pop up like anywhere.
Well,
That's the thing,
one because
you
it's
know?
on Disney Plus.
It's on Disney,
Yeah.
and,
and
not
that was
Crunchy.
the biggest L I think that could have happened for Bleach. Honestly, like there was a lot of contenders trying to buy the IP for Bleach.
Yeah.
Crunchyroll even advertised Bleach before it aired out, like a year, 2 years before it aired out. They showed commercials for it. They showed trailers for it, and people were dope.
The
And
thing is,
they picked Chainsaw Man over Bleach, and I think they fucked up, and they know it.
Disney is actually losing the full 100% licensing agreement at the end of this year, or actually this year.
Really?
So yeah,
Well,
there is actually
That's
news that
because the season is gonna end like
no,
next year.
sorry, not it already ended. This year was the last year, so the final season is actually going to be aired, because I was reading up on this actually a couple maybe a few weeks ago. It's also going to be airing on Adult Swim for like North America. Yeah, which is interesting, right? It'll be on Disney, and it's just they lost the
100%.
the 100% licensing agreement that they had. So this final season might actually come to Crunchy. We don't know yet.
Yeah. it
Right,
could.
there's still months before this comes out, so we'll find out fully like where it's going to be airing. They've only stated that it's going to be an Adult Swim, other than Disney. But hey,
It'll be good, right? Because
we'll
like
see.
I think like like as someone who like wants to see more of Bleach, I don't see it like anywhere.
Yeah,
right? And that deters like new fans that we said like yourself who
Well, Disney also got the rights to that.
gosh.
Yeah.
yeah, they got the rights
they-
to all the OG stuff.
They had
because I remember specifically because I was watching it on Crunchy, trying to catch up for,
and then it disappeared.
and then
Oh my
it disappeared
God.
and I had 5 more episodes
Yeah.
left, and I was pissed because I had to go and like because I didn't know that it was going to be on Disney Plus, and so I went and
I
went
didn't
to-
believe him.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
Legal-
like, "What do you
legal
mean?"
realms.
legal routes.
I was like, "It was." I was like, "It's there, dude." He's like, "No, it's gone." I'm like, "No, I'll turn it on and I'll show you."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh shit, it's not there."
Yeah, it's not there.
I was like, "You were
Wow.
wrong, dog." Yeah. Yeah. So One Piece should have won. I don't
Yeah.
know. Now, okay, best new series. Best new series and anime of the year, I feel like need to be separate in terms of their nominees. If They have the exact same nominees for best new series that they do anime of the year.
It's like
it's the same 6. Now that I'm looking at it,
It's exactly Dan to Dan, Delicious in Dungeon, Frieren, Apothecary Diaries, Solo. It's the same. If you're being nominated,
and the thing is, like, you're just gonna do Solo twice
again.
You just hit copy paste.
This
bro.
section is a copy paste.
It's
Absolutely.
a copy paste, and you didn't even be like, okay, let's give it to the second best, the one that everyone knows should have taken it. Frieren. They're like, no, let's double down on this freaking stupid bet.
and
What are you
make it
doing?
Solo. Yeah, like, and this is season 1 we're talking about. This is season 1. I think what we talked about with recency bias being a thing is people watch season 2 and are like Solo leveling.
Yeah.
Because they're taking it as 2025. We're doing this for 2025.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's really not. Like, there was nothing great about season 1 except for the last 2-3 episodes.
Yeah. It was it's dumb. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I feel like
Again, Crunchyroll is the MTV/Nickelodeon Awards of anime awards.
It is.
And like
it's a show. It's a show.
It's a
more,
popularity contest.
Yeah, it's a popularity contest more than it is a like. It's obvious we know who should have won, right? And for this best new series, take it away. Who won?
For best original series,
Yeah,
Ninja Kamui.
Ninja Kamui.
Yeah, it went up against shows like Buchigiri, which was Mappa's it's Mappa's original show. Girls Band Cry, Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night, Train to the End of the World, which I heard was actually pretty good. Metallic Rouge, which I know none of you have watched, but I watched it. I thought it was dope.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they also incorporate CGI like Ninja Kamui did, but the frame rates didn't drop like Ninja Kamui did.
Gotcha.
Do you think that one should have won?
I think Metallic. I think it was a better story too.
Now, I would like to bring up something from our past, which was last year's Crunchyroll Awards, when you were like, Jujutsu Kaisen won for the first 5 episodes. I feel like Ninja Kamui definitely won for the first 5 episodes because the last 7 are hot dog. But those first 5 are peak. They are 10s, brother. They are so good. Everything is so good about it that it's hard for me to say. I want to go and watch those other animes just so I can like piece together maybe why they didn't win.
Fair.
But at the same time, it's justifiable in my books. Let's get it. What's the next one? Hit it.
Best main character.
Hell yeah.
I wanted to hit this one because we talked about it in the beginning of the episode.
It's the same.
This was the best main character was interesting because there were 2 characters from the same show that were nominated, which was Okarun and Momo.
Yeah, so just the girl in the cabin. Yeah.
And then we have Kafka Hibino from Kaiju, Frieren from Frieren, and Momao from Apothecary Diaries, and then Sung Jin Woo. And who won?
Sung Jin Woo. I think our take in Answers for Andre is better.
He's Goku for this era.
Yeah.
Anything you say about Sung Jin Woo, people be like, he'll body him.
Yeah.
He'll body him. Low diff. Body.
It's funny because like I
don't know.
And like it doesn't make sense to me. And I don't even want, because go into any, if you follow the anime community and you watch any videos on the anime community, you'll see that it's
this makes me dead inside.
Everybody who follows
makes me dead
I feel
inside.
I feel like the anime community, like low-key, got like a group of people to piss off. Like they got a bunch of people to go in and vote just to piss off the anime community because they knew that it just doesn't make sense. Like, it's obvious that Sung Jin Woo shouldn't have won. He doesn't have character development.
No. He goes from, I'm weak. Oh, I can level up. I'm strong.
No, hold on. It's not even that. He goes from, I'm this weak little boy to,
he is every shonen character ever.
He's mewing the whole time,
he is
bro.
every shonen character ever, dude.
He's sick as hell. Don't get me wrong. I'm envious.
I think we can all say that, like, he's super
had better character development than freaking Sung Jin Woo.
He did.
And he started off weak ass too.
Yeah.
But he has more character in him than Sung Jin Woo is so monotone and like one dimensional. There's nothing special about him.
Yeah.
There's nothing remotely interesting except for how much can he power up and how much can he fuck up this dude.
Pretty much.
You want to bring logic to a
power
dumbass
fantasy?
contest? Damn, dude.
Not necessarily, but I'm like,
it doesn't make sense.
Frieren and Kafka, I think we should have been the top contenders.
Yeah, I mean, I would
can
like
follow-
to
I
watch
can follow
Apothecary
that.
Diaries to know who the
right?
the Mamau
Like,
is.
I feel like
Mau
we can't
Mau.
really talk about it because we don't know.
because I
Yeah.
don't know that one. But
Yeah.
like from everything else, it
Mao
should have
Mao
been.
is a
I
smart
agree.
character.
I agree.
Okay, cool.
I'll tell you
Frieren
that much.
and
From what I've
Kafka.
seen so far, she is a very smart character. I haven't seen too much of it to really go in depth with her, but
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
a smart character.
Okay,
That's
cool.
all I can say.
So yeah, the nominee makes sense then.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like other than that, like I don't know what else there is about the Crunchyroll Awards. I feel like they're pissing me off now because it's just kind of dumb. Like,
Mashal did win Best Intro. I really wanted to shut
Well,
that
yeah,
out
every-
because
Ooh, that
Bling
intro
Bong-
is so good.
Bling Bong is a fire.
well, I mean, it blew up on TikTok.
It did.
It blew up on
did.
TikTok.
Yeah.
It was on IG Reels.
Yeah.
Like people were hardcore.
And then the
Hardcore.
next one for Dadaran, Odonoke, is pretty good too.
True. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that one's pretty good.
It was good as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
They swung. They hit 2 home runs.
Yeah, I think the group Creepy Nuts. Yeah,
Creepy Nuts.
Creepy
yeah.
Nuts, they're
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
I fucking love that
Yeah.
name. Yeah. Other than that, I feel like the only other one we could really talk about is like, I don't know, best animation, but that any one of them. could've won
Anyone.
it.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
It's taste at that point.
It
is.
because like all of them are at an elite caliber.
yeah.
So it's like you're
Which art style do you like more?
yeah. Which art style does the anime community like most?
I do
Demon
know a
Slayer
lot
is
of
fine.
Yeah, I do know a lot of people really like the Demon Slayer art style.
It
so like
is. It's
I
a
get
beautiful
it. Yeah.
art style, and yeah. That's how it is. You want to get on to some reviews though?
Let's get into our anime reviews because the
gonna-
anime awards
Wow, we still have reviews to do.
pissed me
We've
off.
been going really. I mean, this one's gonna be
Well,
pretty quick.
the reviews are going to be short because, like, really, Fire Force was really just about Arthur, and there's not much
Yeah.
to talk about
Yeah.
with Arthur. Windbreaker, it just got more into the fights, but there are moments where I got heated.
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
we'll get into
Okay,
that.
yeah.
But we'll start with Fire Force.
Fire Force.
Knock that out the park.
I-
Coop, this is going to be all you because
Yeah.
you're like fanboy
Bro.
Arthur.
I got it. Don't even worry. This is my boy
Not even true.
Arthur.
Actually, right from the get go, I ripped because they showed
They show a 2-second stint of Arthur and the gang.
Arthur and again meeting 2 people, and right away I was like, "Those are Arthur's parents." And
They look exactly like Arthur.
and then we get
Yeah.
the episode started, and like, "Yep, we're Arthur's parents." Like,
yeah. Well, right off rip, we start where last episode ended. Of course, they're going to find Orichalcum, the legendary metal from Atlantis, to make his Excalibur. And then
say
Arthur's
that
like
name again. What was the metal called?
Orichalcum.
Calcum.
So yeah, they
Orichalcum.
they end up going to heading out to go to the Nether.
You okay?
What there was a funny
You having
there was
a
a
stroke?
no
What's
no
going
there
on,
was
man?
there's a funny moment where this kid comes up and asks, he's like, "Hey, can you help with my cat? It's in a tree." And Arthur's
yeah.
like, "Hell nah, that's a side quest. I got a main quest to do." And I was
He's like, "I'll come
"Damn,
back
dude."
later once I'm done."
He's like, I ain't got a solo level this one. He's like, I'm going straight for the boss.
Poor kid. I was like, "Damn." Dude,
I
that's
know,
fair.
Dude, that kid just wanted his cat out. Like,
So the gang get to the Nether pretty quick. Yu is losing his mind. He just starts screaming things like randomly
Because he can't believe they're down in the Nether.
they're down in the
Yeah.
Nether. And so Arthur basically is like, "Come on, boy," and he snaps him out of it. And he's like, and they end up going together. And Yu's like, "Oh my god, Night King Arthur." He's fanboying over Night King Arthur. We cut. There's a cut back to Shinra in Asakusa.
Yes.
And
Where he's kind of just zoning out and thinking about the
Yeah.
things that are going on and like how the Adola link works.
yes,
That's where Conroe comes in.
Yeah.
He's like, "What are you doing, man? Like, get out. We got to go train." He's like, "You had an Adola link. How did you do that?" And Conroe just sits there and thinks
yeah.
and is like, "I don't know."
Well, he tells him it's because of the third eye.
Right.
Right?
The-
It's
I
like
forgot
the
about
third
that.
eye.
that's what Benny Maru told him, right?
Oh wait, or was that
it was Benny Maru.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
that was Benny Maru.
bad.
Yeah.
Later in the
Yeah,
episode.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
from there, like once he asked him and Conroe's like, "Let me think," that's where it cuts back.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
cut back.
Yeah.
It cuts back to Lisa trying to stop Arthur with her fire
Yeah.
tentacles. That
Because
area.
she's telling like, "This is dumb. Like, we should just get out of here because
She's
there's no
spitting
point."
facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, "Yo, this is stupid. Like, we should just like figure out something and swap it." Or
Yeah,
Vulcan
it's
says
like,
he's gonna
we
swap
let him
it out.
go on too long.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
this is ridiculous. So she pulls out her fire trying to be like the boss monster. And Arthur turns around and is like, "Lisa, what are you doing?
Yeah,
man?
what you doing, big
why
dog?
are you being dumb?
And,
like, this is me?"
Yeah,
Wait,
this is my
this
story.
is the moment where Arthur decides to be,
Intelligent.
yes. It's like, why are you trying to do stupid
It doesn't
shit?
fit into his
It's not
RPG
in,
story.
yeah, it's not part of his narrative.
When it's not a part of his fantasy,
yeah,
it makes sense
Yeah.
to him. like when it is a part of his fantasy, reality goes out the window.
This is just what this episode's about.
Yes. Cooper's life.
So two people just Lisa takes down the fire tentacles and two people approach. Arthur senses them and Vulcan senses them. They're like, oh my goodness, two people are coming towards them. Who could it be? Pan up. Arthur's parents, mom and dad. They're there. Arthur starts talking. He's like, mom, dad, da 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 da. We get a few sentences in and you realize that they are just as insane as him.
They left Arthur. Or well, actually,
wait, hold on. They come in and they're like, and Arthur's like Mother King or Mother Queen, Father King.
Yeah.
And they're
Did
like,
he say Mother Queen? I thought he said Mother King.
Or he might have said Mother.
Because he's an idiot. I feel like he would say Mother King. I could be wrong.
Honestly, no, he could. I believe you. That's what he said. He said Mother King. And so they find out that his parents went off to save the world in the Nether. They had to save the world, and they just left him.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
they just left him. They couldn't take him because the Nether was too
scary,
just too scary for the kids, and he got abandoned by his parents.
And then his mom tells him the truth,
and
says, "Your dad actually had a shit ton of debt, so that's why we left."
Yeah, because the restaurant burned down, and there's like a flashback of Arthur and his parents, and they show the scene where his mom and dad are like there, and then they just get up and they're like, son, we gotta leave. We gotta leave you here alone.
While he's sleeping too, so he didn't even hear it.
Yeah, that's the worst part. And then they left him a letter. But then the dad starts spitting facts about the danger of the world and like the religious fanatics and how the church is like wanting to do the great cataclysm,
which is actually like legit.
Yeah, she starts like it starts getting real dark, and she's like spitting all this information about like the plot. She's just saying what we have figured out up until this point. And you're like, how does she know?
And I'm sitting here, I'm like, these guys are traitors. They're white clad fanatics. I'm like, they're radicals, right? I'm like, there's something serious about to pop off. And then they're asking him, how do you know all this? And the dad goes, I'm a seer. And I was like, what? What does that mean? What do you mean you're a seer? And then he's like, whenever I look into my hat and sleep, I see galaxies and the universe and stars. I was like, what the fuck is this dude on? That doesn't make any fucking sense. How is this a thing? Is he on drugs? He's just as delusional as his son is. Now I understand where the fuck it comes from and why Arthur's so goddamn messed up in his life. His dad is a goddamn fantasizer.
Yeah.
It's crazy that he was right somehow, though.
Yeah.
But he never explained how he saw what he saw.
No. We have yet to get into the craziest part about this.
I see stars, and he gave no explanation as to how he knew that.
Right after this conversation, hold on. His parents are like, hey, yo, let's go back to our place. So they head back to their place.
And they have a lot of junk that's RH technology junk.
Yeah. It's like it's
from the old world.
From the old world, like rocket ship stuff and
smartphones,
computers,
and,
whatever.
Yeah, computers and all this
gaming
kind of stuff.
systems.
Yeah, all this kind of stuff.
PS6.
Oh, I can't wait. So Vulcan finds the head of the rocket ship and he says, This alloy. This is actually like this is from an old
rocket ship.
Rocket.
This is like
this
legit.
Is from space. Like this is.
And if you know anything about rocket material, especially the metals, they're very resistant to high levels of heat.
Yeah, because they
high levels of heat.
Yeah, the tip has to be very, very, very.
It needs to be able to break through the atmosphere.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we see that, and then right out of the blue, 3 kids start running around.
Oh my god! Yeah, that was the kids were.
That was insane.
They were like, these are your brothers and sisters to Arthur. And I was like, wait. The Vulcan, Yui, and Lisa were like, what?
You, the character, starts like being like, what? He pieces together everything, and he's like,
Yui is the most logical character in this episode.
He is. He's like, dude, you had kids down here, but you left your son in the world to fend for himself.
And you had more kids down here.
When you said it was scary for kids to be here.
Yes.
He's like, dude.
This is you know what? He's not wrong. As adults, that's the most You left one kid to go have more kids, only to put them in a worse situation from when you left your first kid.
And Arthur is like, that's sick.
He was so proud. So proud of his parents. So proud that he had a brother. He had siblings to look after.
Arthur's my man. I love that kid. You know, it actually makes sense now.
For Arthur, it does.
Like, Arthur's whole character makes sense. It actually isn't just like, it's trauma.
He needs to live in delusion, otherwise trauma's gonna hit him.
It's trauma. He is traumatically...
Because the minute he, reality hits him, his life is over.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
He needs this delusion to keep going on.
Literally.
So Vulcan actually kind of realizes this and fits the rocket ship head into this narrative where he's like, look, this is the legendary metal that we can use to craft your sword, right?
It's like, this is the orichalcum.
Yeah, this is like much better.
And you the whole time is like, what the hell is going on? Do you even hear me? Do you understand what happened in your life? And Arthur's like, legendary metal, dude. Let's go. And like, you makes the comment. He's like, if it doesn't fit his narrative, he just doesn't even care.
You gives up.
He gives up.
Yeah.
He gives up. So they end up heading back, and Vulcan is smelting at the, like, in front of an oven, like he's starting the smelting process, and they
In the
smithery, and they start making his new sword. So Vulcan is like, the whole gang is like, you know, doing the whole thing, melting the metal. There's a whole long-winded scene about that. And
everybody's involved in the forging process.
Everyone's involved in it. And right at the end, we get to see his sword. He wields it, and he's like, this is the best sword. And I said,
it looks pretty dope.
I was pissed because we didn't get to see him like do anything with it, but I think it has to have like fire coming through it, right?
Or something.
Yeah. Because it doesn't make sense that it's just like a full steel sword, because his sword before was just like a hilt.
Yeah, because he was able to produce plasma.
Yeah.
Which is very rare for...
Yeah, or, I mean, it would probably be like a plasma cutter.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the form of a sword, and it was all plasma, like... Which is very rare for these. What do you call them again? Fire users, generational fire.
Oh, third gens.
Like for any of them to do.
Yeah.
And now we got it's a full on sword now, and it's like, how is this gonna be utilized?
Yeah, I think it'll be enveloped in like plasma somehow, and maybe because it has like a base to work off of.
Yeah,
and
plus there's that little circle in the middle too. I think that
might come into play.
Plus his delusions will, like, you know, be much stronger.
You know, man, I was kind of. It's interesting because I thought the formation of the sword would be very similar to Excalibur in Soul Eater.
Oh yeah,
because I'm trying to find connections still between Fire Force and Soul Eater. And so far, the only thing we get from Fire Force is the sun and the moon. Looking like the sun and the moon from Soul Eater.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, but Arthur's personality is like Excalibur's personality in Soul Eater. He's full of himself.
Yep.
He's full of himself because he's a legendary sword and Arthur's a knight. They have that same kind of personality.
Exactly.
So I'm just like, but the sword doesn't look anything like it. I'm just like, okay, somewhere something has changed. So that's unfortunate.
After that, Benimaru, it cuts back to Shinra, and Benimaru stops Shinra from trying to. He's walking through the town. He's about to go try to get to the Adola. Benimaru stops him and says, "How are you? You can't get to the Adola. How do you even expect to do that?" And Shinra's like, "I actually don't know." And he's like, "The third eye."
And how do you open the third eye?
Shinra's like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "All you gotta do is like open your palms to the earth." Become one with it. And he just starts saying hippie things. And then Shinra falls asleep.
That's true though.
And then he's trying to do grounding and
spiritual, man.
Like toe ring.
Spiritual.
He's doing toe ring bitch shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
cool.
Like for real. The women who wear toe rings, that's who you are. You ground, you go outside, you lay on the ground, you
touch
try
grass.
to become one. Yeah. So Benimaru actually ends up being like, explaining to him a little bit about the third eye, and then he's like, I'm gonna go gamble, and he leaves him. Shinra ends up like kind of falling asleep, but going into the Adola.
Yeah.
And who does he see there?
He sees Sho.
Sho is standing there, and he's like,
Who are you?
And then he's like, at the end, he's like, big brother?
Yeah.
It cuts back to him.
It was very different.
And that was the end of the episode.
Yeah. It did cut out to him.
Yeah.
Like back in the real world.
Yep.
And because he did, like in the adult, he doesn't remember who he is, but now all of a sudden he is remembering.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because as we know, by the end of season 2,
links.
Like, is it the end of season 1 or season 2? I can't remember now. Like, he was ready to go with Shinra.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
And then they did some like crazy brainwashing stuff.
Yeah. That's how it.
What the hell's her name? Hanu.
like
Hamura?
Hamura?
Haume?
The one with like the head.
The head.
Haume. Yeah.
Yeah, Haume.
Haume.
Is it Haume?
I believe it's Haume.
Okay. Anyways, I don't know how to say her fucking name. Like,
Sure.
I now realizing she may have manipulated him.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think she's the master manipulator behind the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
What do you guys rate it?
This was like a 7.
Yeah, this one is
7.5.
a fun
I give it-
episode.
This was a fun episode.
This one
Yeah.
is just
It
meant
was
to be a fun episode.
It was fun and it was Arthur lore building.
Yes.
It was Arthur lore
This
building,
definitely
which makes
feels-
me feel good, but at the same time, I can agree it was kind of boring.
This season of Fire Force seems to really be focusing in on Shinra and Arthur.
Arthur, yeah,
especially.
for sure.
This is like a Goku Vegeta moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kill a Gon.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like getting them ready for the big fight.
Yeah.
We got so I give it just 7.5, 7 out of 10. Yeah.
Around there. Yeah.
Yeah, around there.
In that ballpark.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's fair.
Well, let's get into some windbreakers.
Windbreaker.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna take. I'll take. Do you want me to take lead, or you want to
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
take lead with
go?
this.
I got it.
I didn't really take that many notes for Windbreaker.
It's all good. Neither did
Yeah.
I. There was it's so much of it was fighting that like you can't really unless we're doing play by plays on the fights. There's no reason.
because it's literally it's literally like them talking from last episode. Kanji's telling Sakura, "Go back. You can't be here anymore. This is our fight. Like
Yeah.
I can't have Tsubaki be like shitting on me about this
Yeah.
stuff because we're responsible for you."
Well, it starts off with them like Shizuka in the dressing room, and
that's after that.
No, that's where the episode starts.
No.
No, I think Cooper's right.
I'm right.
Yeah.
I know I'm right because I wrote so many notes. You don't understand.
Yeah.
I take notes
Yeah.
now. I know I'm right because I write from the beginning. I know that it starts in the dressing room.
Okay, man. I'm sorry, dude. Jesus.
Shizuka.
How does it feel like to be right?
Oh, it's so great. It's so
Should I
good.
just show up more? Like, what's going on?
I write down the notes and then I can just be like, you don't know what you're talking about. No, no, they're in Shizuka's in the dressing room and they're talking about how she's kind of like worried about Kanji and she wants to go out and run, like basically like she doesn't know what she wants to do, but she's worried about him. She says, "I'm gonna go
to the bathroom.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom." She does go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then
Because I thought it was gonna be the classic trope where she just ran off, but she actually did go.
and then the
to the
twin
bathroom.
And then she dipped.
And then the twins were like, "Where'd she go off to? It's been a while." And they're like, "Oh no!" And then they dash off. And so,
this dumb bitch does exactly what I said she was gonna do,
And
and
then-
that was run off like every female anime trope when
And
they're
then-
like the person they love is in danger. It's like, oh, okay, I'll go find towards the danger that they're at because the danger's about me. But yeah, put yourself in more danger where they're trying to protect your dumbass.
look, she's a 14-year-old girl. We gotta understand that she's a child. She's gonna make stupid decisions. But we cut after that. We do cut back to before Shizuka runs off to go join the fight, but we cut back to the fight at the current moment. And the man bun dude, the opposition leader, is just like kind of analyzing everything. He's kind of going over like what's going on. And Kanji is just whooping ass. Kanji's going berserk on everybody. Like he's just actually going berserk. He almost hits Sakura.
Yeah.
Sakura's like, "What, dude? Chill."
That's blind rage that was coming out.
For sure.
Yeah.
It was
Which again, when I talked about it last episode, I think like Sakura sees like himself in Kanji.
yeah.
I think if Sakura grows up the way he was going to, he would have been a Kanji character for sure.
But you think he's gonna be more of an umiyama?
I think it's going to be a
An
mix of the
umami
two.
as
Yeah.
an umami as
Yeah.
Andre would say.
Yeah, umami.
Yeah, so Kanji, there's the cool fight scene really happens where Kanji's just going absolutely berserk. But then we kind of get after that, after he almost hits Sakura, he starts telling Suo and Sakura to actually head back. He's like, "Yo, We don't really need you. And all of Roppo Achiza stops and is like, yo, don't worry, we got this.
Isn't it crazy? They're in the middle of a gang fight.
Yeah.
They in the middle of the gang fight. And these dudes are stopping to talk to them.
And you know
there
what?
was a lot of stopping and talking.
Hold on. You want to know what this reminds me of? It's like a play, like Grease.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like a theatrical play.
Like a theatrical play.
At the same time, the Man Bun and Gravel, they still got a shit ton of guys behind them. He could just send them out and be like, go stomp their ass. But instead, he says to them, hey, just hold them back because we don't need to actually fight them anymore.
Yeah. And so Suo basically grabs Sakura and starts running in the opposite direction. And who's running in their direction?
Dumb bitch Suzuka. Dumbass was running to. I was like, you really that stupid? Like, everything you're doing right now is putting all the work they've done.
She feels bad that her friends are being hurt.
Yeah.
She feels bad that her friends are being
okay,
hurt.
though.
She says, I will give myself up.
This episode really pissed me off because I'm like, this is such a classic trope, man.
Nier got you, man.
And I really thought this anime was going to go away from this trope, but
well, one thing, the character shows up with the logic and reasoning. Nira, he shows up and he's like,
thank God. I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought she was just going to go because she's like, I'll give myself up to you. And that's when Man Bun was like, okay, everybody just hold everyone back. We don't need to actually fight them anymore because she's giving herself up willingly. So just hold everybody back. And she's like, I'll come with you so you guys don't have to get hurt anymore. You know what I'm saying? And then, you're right. My boy Nire comes and lays out the groundwork for her.
He says, yo, they've been fighting, getting beat up. This will all be for nothing. Don't do this. You're being dumb. And then it does cut back to Shizuka and Kanji's backstory quickly. We kind of get a brief overview of how they actually met.
You say she's a teenage girl and she's young and she's dumb, but like she had the smart enough to get out of a shit situation.
Yeah, but she doesn't. She would be willing to put. It shows that she loves them so much that she would be willing to put herself. She knows what she'd be going back to, but she would put
she's not considering his feelings. Where okay, she feels this way, but
she
he's
isn't.
also she's not. She's not considering his feelings,
and that's why it's a character flaw.
She's dumb. She's just dumb.
She's a young girl. My goodness, you hate her so much.
It's for the person she loves.
It's for the person she loves. Remember,
she doesn't want to.
She doesn't realize that the person that loves her is fighting for her to stay.
Yeah, but she doesn't want to see the person she loves hurt.
Then she doesn't believe in him, and he needs to find a new woman.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So they show Kanji's backstory. We get a cutback, and exactly like Victor said, Shizuka's like, I don't want to lose. I don't want you guys to get hurt. I've learned so much. Everything's been so nice with you guys, and I learned the person that I love is standing in front of me. And it pans over Kanji. So Shizuka's running to Man Bun, and the twins show up out of nowhere. They're like, hey, yo, no.
I like the twins.
Yeah, they chilling.
They dope.
They cool.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
The fight was nice.
Their fight was actually a little bit more exciting than Tsubaki's.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Tsubaki shows up right behind them, right? They get into this huddle, they're talking, and then Tsubaki's like, yo.
Tsubaki came in like a bad bitch.
Oh, yeah.
He came in like a bad
red
bitch.
Bottoms on.
And was like, who do I gotta fuck up?
Who's here? I'm on my period. And everyone was like, yo,
sorry, what did you say? What did you say? I'm on my what?
I'm on my period.
What the hell's a deriod?
Okay, it's a new age meme. I know it's pretty fresh, but
my age is showing.
No, it's very new. But deriod is a very funny term. I love it. It's so good. But he was definitely on that. And he walks up and he says, twins, back it up, make a path for me. And
that's some queen shit.
Some queen shit.
That's some queen shit.
And they do just that. They do some Jackie Chan shit.
I tried to look it up on ChatGPT. ChatGPT doesn't even know what a deriod is.
It's really fresh. It's
ChatGPT was like, this might be a typo. Like, are you sure?
No. You got to go. It's Urban Dictionary. Okay. Yeah. That's an Urban Dictionary term you got to look up. So yeah, the twins make a path for Tsubaki. Tsubaki says, I want the man bun back there. And they get into kind of a spat as Tsubaki's walking up, and they're kind of talking back and forth. And then the dude just runs up and just full blown cocks his arm back and launches a punch at Tsubaki, and Tsubaki just catches it like it was absolutely nothing.
You know, this show is getting into like some crazy superhuman like moments now.
Full blown.
No. From season 1 to season 2, it's like they just gained powers all of a sudden. They're blowing dudes back into walls, blowing them through walls. They're stopping, like they punch, and it's just they're moving the air now. I'm like, you're on the level of Captain America right now, dog.
Yeah.
Like all of you are like
super soldier serum in every single one of them. Yo, hold on. Tsubaki's a unit, though. Can we talk about how much of a unit he is?
Yeah.
He's huge. He makes those booty shorts
To be
crazy.
fair, he is in heels, which makes him a lot bigger.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, makes him a lot taller than most.
Oh, not even just that, but he's yoked.
He is yoked.
He
is. I mean, all that pole dance is gonna get you
Yeah,
solidified, especially in your core, dog.
True.
Those kicks are gonna mean something.
So Tsubaki ends up Tsubaki and the man
Heel
bun
kicks
dude literally just start going at each other, and it's really cool. The choreo was pretty good. I thought the fighting between them was really unique.
To me, it felt like Tsubaki wasn't really trying.
You said this, but I don't think that's necessarily true. I think
Am I wrong?
I
Did you feel like that?
I feel like Tsubaki was just obviously Tsubaki could have probably went a little crazier.
Probably testing.
But testing the waters
Testing.
is what
Think so?
I'd
I
say.
think so.
Yeah. And what ends up happening is, the twins are doing acrobatics, literally just jumping in the air and like getting thrown around
Yeah, they're
while
doing
this is going.
crazy shit.
It was nuts. Like gripping the
It
other
felt
dude.
like I was
and-
watching the Ninja Turtles in human form.
Yeah.
It was like classic.
Because at one
old
point, the one
martial art-
twin,
Jackie Chan movies.
They're
Jackie Chan
They're
movies.
Jackie Chan movies. 100%. It's like just some crazy
Jackie
things.
Chan and Jet Li.
Yeah, exactly. Just things that wouldn't actually happen. It
Yeah.
just looks cool. And then right at the last second, something happens, and you said that you kind of had a viewpoint on this that I disagreed with. But the man bun throws a punch, hits Tsubaki. You said Tsubaki could have caught it.
Yes. I think he could have.
I think, and I wanted to replay it, but I think right before that, Tsubaki actually trips.
I don't know.
It kind of seemed like Tsubaki was on the back turn, and it almost seemed like she was adjusting, and she saw it, but she couldn't stop it.
See, I think, I mean, we'll watch it again after we're done with the pod, but what it looked like to me was he was getting ready to like move forward, but he saw the punch coming.
Mm-hmm.
So like, to me, it looked like he had time to stop it. Now, could it have been a surprise and he wasn't ready? Maybe, but it looked like he had enough time to like stop from the point of view that we saw it in.
Mm-hmm.
No, I could be wrong again, but that's what it looked like to me. I don't know. What do you think?
For that part, I'm not too sure. Cause like
Did you close your eyes?
Yeah.
Whoa!
Whoa. We can't say it, but you can.
I can't say it.
That's not right. I thought you just blinked. I didn't mean it like that, dog. Whoa. Okay.
I'm not too sure. I think both
I guess
perspectives
he's
are fine.
allowed to do that.
He's
allowed
to do that.
See, we can bring the Asian jokes.
Yeah.
It's
When
fun
he's
now.
around,
Yeah.
he can do the Asian
Yeah.
jokes.
This is
Pat
true.
doesn't do any jokes.
Pat falls asleep on the fucking couch.
It's true.
It does.
It's true.
Yeah,
I was really hoping he times that. I had jobs for him today.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, for that part, I'm not too sure, just because like, even though like I kind of agree with like both of you, right? Like it's like the timing could have caught it because Tsubaki has caught it before, but then I guess like metaing it a little bit, it's nice to see someone get a hidden.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just nice.
It's
to see someone
true.
get a hidden.
And right, like it ends mid fight. Like that's where the episode kind of ends.
Sort of, yeah.
Tsubaki and Man Bun start saying things to each other. I can't remember. I didn't write down notes for what they
I
said.
didn't write down notes for, but what I did write down was like when Tsubaki stopped Shizuka, like he literally was like, "Isn't this the life you want? Why are you running back?" And Shizuka is like, "Oh my god, you're right. You're right. I don't want to go anymore. You convinced." I'm like, he said like a sentence. That's all it took.
It's an emotional.
Somebody
girl.
just needed to ask you to stay, and it wasn't even the man that you loved. It was Tsubaki.
Grown men not understanding women's feelings is the topic of like this whole today's conversation.
No, I'm sorry. Dude, they showed her the capability of making the smart choice of leaving bad situations. she was not in a bad situation. She was in a good position. She knows Kanji is tough. Like, yeah, okay, you don't want to see him get hurt. I get that. But Kanji can literally rip ass. And they have Tsubaki.
Sheldon, have you ever witnessed a woman be erratic and emotional? No, not once in your entire life.
Never.
Wow,
Never.
that would be a crazy idea. That the emotions would get the better of that.
It's probably some trauma too, because she grew up in
maybe
the slums.
a little bit of trauma. You know, there are some character backstory
Suck my ass, Shizuka. You're a terrible character.
I might have explained this.
Yeah.
But what do you rate it? What do you give this episode?
A 7.
I give it a 7.5.
Like,
I like some of the fighting. The fighting is pretty
feel
cool.
Well, see, and that's where I'm kind of like giving it a lower score because I feel like we got better fighting in the last episode than we did in this.
We did,
episode.
and that's why I rated last episode better.
Really, I actually, I mean, I only think like the part of this episode's fight that I thought was really cool was it was interesting to see how the gravel leader fought in a way, because that guy was like, it's interesting because like you can tell he fights, but he was never taught.
Because he's just lobbing.
Yeah,
bombs.
he was like literally like doing really big swings
he's just
instead of
taking
these like
full
close
swings.
Like instead of like
Ooh, I
little
like
jabs
that you
and whatnot.
caught that.
It was
That's
really cool
good
to
attention
see.
detail.
Yeah.
But then even with that, because he's been in so many street fights, he's able to keep up even though he hasn't learned anything.
Oh, for sure.
Plus,
for sure.
he's not. And he even said it in the episode. He's like, "You ate good food, so you must be stronger."
Yeah.
Where-
and he was
because-
like, I'm hungry. That's
Yeah.
why I'm not fighting that well.
Which is like,
So now it's like, okay, if we get this man a full stomach of like some of the best food and let him sit with it for a while, go to the bathroom, come back, and then be like, okay, I'm ready to go. I want to see his full potential.
I want to see Tsubaki take off the heels. That's when shit gets serious. She
I
takes
think
off the
Tsubaki's
earrings.
better.
She's taking off the earrings and walking in. Oh, no, hell no. You got to slug in. It's over.
I can
now.
see Tsubaki taking off the earrings, taking off the
The
jacket.
heels, I think, makes
but
her-
I think the heel is what makes Tsubaki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair,
it's
fair,
what
fair,
gives
fair.
him his powers.
Fair,
similar to like, you know, like how
He says
in
the makeup gives him
Yeah,
powers.
exactly. I think the heels do the
right.
same thing.
That's right. He did say that.
Yeah.
He did say the
He
makeup,
said the
gave him his
makeup
powers.
gives him
And
powers.
because when Man Bun punched him, he was like, "Why you put this
Ew.
stuff on?" He's like, "It doesn't even taste good." Like he licks it and he spits. He's like, "You can't even eat this shit." I was like, "He doesn't know what makeup is."
He's full blown. This world is crazy, by the way. This is like, it is completely dramatized to the point where now
absolutely.
everything is just way off rails. But I don't mind it because it is like the stories are interesting enough that it keeps me drawn. But yeah, this show has gone completely off the rails.
Absolutely.
This is a wild show, but I enjoyed it. But yeah, I think that kind of wraps up what
Yeah,
we got.
I mean that's everything we have for today's show.
Yeah.
I think like with our feelings on Crunchyroll Anime Awards, I think I'm gonna start looking at the Tokyo Anime Awards from now on. Realistically,
We should.
because those judges actually like their criteria for judging is well thought out.
Yeah.
They actually take it seriously. It's not just they don't do fan votes.
Yeah, I mean, we love Crunchyroll, of course, because they give us some of our favorite animes.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, when it comes to awards, you gotta really like be on the ball with what's actually currently.
I think with Crunchyroll, I'm just gonna treat it like it is, which is an MTV/Nickelodeon award show.
Yeah.
And it's a popular. So from now on, I'm not gonna think about what I'm voting for when it comes to Crunchy stuff.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be this was cool, this was cool, this was cool, this was shit.
Yeah.
Whereas the Tokyo Awards, I'm gonna watch because I want to know if they're thinking what I'm thinking when I'm watching anime now.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And like breaking it down, seeing what was good about it, what was really driving the story of like not just the narrative, but of the characters as well.
Yeah.
And it's not a popularity contest at that point.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for hearing out our ranting and raving about what we talked about on this episode. Thank you guys for watching. We would love if you subscribe down below, if you left a comment, like, share it with your friends, hit the bell, do something, man. Come on. We love you.
Sack Squad, thank you for your views as well. Like, we appreciate everybody watching. Even if you aren't subscribed to us, you're still a part of the Sack Squad in our hearts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We love you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.